past success. This is a huge one. Sometimes what we have already done is the greatest threat to what we could do. After preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ all over Asia Minor and Europe, 1,500 square miles, shipwrecked, stoned, left for dead, wrestled with beasts including snakes, rejected by his own country people, the Apostle Paul planted basilicas all the way to England and Spain. A feat that only by God's grace we can achieve in our time. I'm so embarrassed every time I read about the Apostle Paul's work. I think about a guy who never had a car. He never had an aeroplane to travel from city to city. There were no modern motorboats. There was no internet to send letters quickly. He didn't have the modern pen we have or the printing press to publish his books quick enough. There was no UPS to take them from church to the church address. Under remote circumstances, where the sheep had to wait a whole year, they were studying the weeds to know when to sail from Rome to Spain. Under such extreme circumstances, when people died so much in the high seas, and they land, then they begin to walk or be on a donkey back, yet he could plant churches all over. I ask God, am I such a failure? I feel so bad when I read about Paul. I feel like I don't even qualify to mention his name. But after doing all those exploits, the apostle says in Philippians 3:13, brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, or rather to have achieved. I don't look at my past success. But one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, forgetting what I have already achieved, and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. I don't keep celebrating about my past degrees. I don't keep talking about a house I did. I could do a palace. I don't keep talking about how we ran ministry 5 years ago, how we used to preach in high schools when we were younger. That's then. What are you doing now? What will you do tomorrow? Nemo, you've told me how you used to go to hospitals with your guitar, sharing the love of Christ. What are you doing in 2021? For how long shall you sing that song of your 20s, of your 30s? Here is a challenge. We can't dwell on our past exploits. Past success. I want to challenge you today. The greatest threat to growth is comfort. Dwelling on what you have already achieved. That's the greatest threat to what you could achieve, to your potential. Number 7,